This is SkillBridge Institute. We are on project management, and right now we'll be discussing about project management methodologies. So these are simple approaches that we can do for us to execute different types of projects. Number one, we're going to discuss about agile methodology. So this one, it is a flexible, repeated approach delivering work in short cycles. So on that one, it is where you are executing your project, but when you're executing your project, you execute it for a shorter period of time. After executing it, then you come and evaluate how you have gone through, and you try to plan for changes if those changes are necessary. For example, in IT or in software development, you can apply this particular methodology as well as in industries with evolving requirements. So how is it used? We need to understand that your work is divided in small sprints. Another one, we need to understand that there is regular feedback from the stakeholders. As a result, you are always aligned with the goal of the project. Let's talk of advantages. This one, it is highly flexible and adaptable to changes. So because after a short split, you sit down with your members before finishing the whole of the project, so you can be flexible to bring changes if they are necessary. Another one, it focuses on customer satisfaction. So because you regularly sit down with the stakeholders, by the end of the day, those particular customers will be satisfied with your work. Let's talk about disadvantages. It requires high collaboration. By the end of the day, you need those particular regular meetings with your stakeholders and your team members. It may lack predictability for long-term planning. Just because after a short sprint, you sit down and you plan. After a short sprint, you sit down and plan again. Then you cannot predict how your future planning or how your long-term planning is going to look like, just because you are planning for shorter sprints. Let's go to waterfall methodology. So this one, it is a linear sequential approach where phases are completed step by step. So in this one, once you plan, then you just go step by step. You are following your plan. You go step by step. You don't plan as you are moving along. So you plan once for all. This can be used in construction, manufacturing, as well as projects with fixed requirements. So we need to understand that each phase is completed before the next phase begins. So what you do is that once you plan, then you start completing the phases. So you complete the first phase, then you complete the second phase without having those particular regular meetings. So that is how you do it. Advantages: it is simple and easy to follow. Just because you are following each step by step, so you're doing this step, after doing this step, you go to the next one, you go to the other one. So it is very easy to follow by the end of what? Of the day, because there will be no need for those regular meetings. Another one, there is strong accountability with defined milestones. So each particular step we are moving, there is a milestone that you reach at each and every particular step. So we are saying that there is defined milestone. Disadvantages: it is inflexible. It is hard to accommodate the changes just because you don't plan along the project. So once there is need for a change, it is very difficult for you to accommodate it. It can be inefficient for dynamic projects, so it can be not very good for those particular projects which changes as the project is moving along. Another one, it is Scrum framework. So this one, it is a subset of Agile, and it also focuses on delivering work in short cycles. So this one can be used when projects need frequent updates and collaboration. So how does it work? So we need to understand that a work is divided in sprints, and those particular sprints, the team members are given their designated roles. So in this one, there are regular what? Meetings to ensure progress and address all the issues which are arising. So in this one, it is very similar to Agile, whereby you have got those particular regular meetings to check if there is need for changes to incorporate them. Let's talk about disadvantages. The advantages. It promotes teamwork and quick problem solving. So by the end of the day, a team works together because they'll be need for regular meetings. Another one, it encourages transparency and adaptability. So by the end of the day, because you are frequently meeting, there'll be that transparency, and you can easily adapt to changes if they are necessary. Let's talk about the disadvantages. It can be complex for large teams. So this one, it is very good just for small teams, not bigger teams. Another one, it requires consistent communication. So you need to have got those frequent communications with your team members as well as the stakeholders. Let's go to another one, that is Kanban method. So on Kanban method, we're saying that there is a visual workflow management system that tracks all the issues on board, all the tasks on board. So this one can be good for marketing campaigns, manufacturing, as well as maintenance projects. So how is it used? So in this one, we need to understand that a project manager is supposed to have got a board. On that particular board, you're supposed to list all your tasks. Those particular tasks which are supposed to be done, those particular tasks which are in progress, and those particular tasks which have already been what? Done. So you check everything using a written board. So we need to understand that team adjust workflows to avoid bottlenecks in this particular method. Advantages: it is easy to implement and visualize projects just because it is visually written. So it is easy to implement and to see the progress. Another one, it encourages continuous improvement. Just because this one, it is properly written, so you can easily see where you can improve in your project. Let's talk about disadvantages. It may not be suited for highly structured projects because highly structured projects have got a lot of tasks, so it can be very difficult for you to write tasks for highly structured projects. So this one, it is good for small structured projects. It relies on active monitoring and adjustment. So it requires that you as a project manager should be frequently visiting that particular board and be checking how your project is moving. Let's talk about Prince 2 methodology, which is project in controlled environments. So this one, it is a structured methodology dividing project into manageable stages. So this one is usually used by the government and those particular corporate industries which are very big. So how does it work? So this one, the roles and responsibilities as well as processes are well defined. So this particular methodology relies on documentation. So there is a lot of documentation in this one. So all the risks are well documented, as well as how the whole project is going to be run. It is well documented. So we need to understand that the advantages of this particular methodology is that there is clear guidelines and scalable for larger projects. For example, we are saying the government is the one entity that can easily implement its projects using this particular method. So for example, a government is building a hospital. What a government can do is that it will going to say the board members will be there for decision making. Project manager will be there to be overseeing the project on the site day by day. Then you have got the team leaders who will be doing specific tasks in that particular project. So all the team members, they will have their tasks properly written. So we need to understand that there is strong focus on risks and quality management. So all those are well documented. Disadvantages, it can be rigid and bureaucratic. So by the end of the day, because things are properly written, it can be very hard to incorporate changes, and it can be bureaucratic just because decisions will be made by those who are in the higher authorities. It requires significant training and resources. So for you to use this particular methodology, you require a lot of what? Training and a lot of resources. Let's talk about hybrid methodology. In hybrid methodology, you combine two different what? Methodologies. For example, you're combining agile with waterfall methodology. So this one, it can be used in projects where there is need for flexibility or where there is need for combining two different methodologies. So how does it work? So we can talk of agile. So agile principles can manage dynamic tasks, while waterfall can manage those particular tasks which are structured. Advantages, it is adaptable to diverse projects need. So it can be adaptable because you can use this one, or when it is not needed, you go to another one. So it is very adaptable. Another one, it balances flexibility with clear processes. Disadvantages, it can be challenging to balance both methodologies. So sometimes a project manager can find it very difficult to balance the two different methodologies. It requires skilled project manager. So you need to be a highly skilled project manager for you to run a hybrid methodology. So let's talk about the conclusion. So in conclusion, we need to choose the right project methodology. So we need to understand that if we make the right choice for our project methodology, we are going to have a good success in our project. So these are some of the key takeaway points. Agile is best for dynamic projects which are customer focused. Waterfall, it is best for structured projects with clear requirements. Scrum, this one, it is perfect for teamwork. So that is what we need to understand. Kanban, it is great for visualizing workflow. If you want to have got a visualizing workflow, how you are moving, use Kanban. Prince 2 and hybrid, these are suitable for large scale and diverse project needs. So that is what we need to understand. So you need to select the methodology that align with your project complexity, goals, as well as team capabilities. So make sure that whenever you are choosing, choose the one which is best for your project. So that is what we need to understand as project managers. Thank you so much.